This is Fernando Manyala, the fastest man in Africa, and you're watching Side Chat with Nasho. Please subscribe and keep following.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Side Chat with Nation. I know if you're new to the channel, make sure you drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any conversation on the channel. Now, on today's episode of the show, I'm going to be talking about a lot about matters, data, sports, data-driven sports, information. That's a word that you're going to hear me throw a lot in this particular interview. So joining me for the first time on Side Chat with Nation is a very interesting guest. Her name is Dr. Melaniea Platis. It's quite a unique name. I kind of like struggled a little bit at the beginning to get the name right. But that's Dr. Melaniea Platis. Dr. Melaniea Platis works with the Kleos consulting firm, and she's going to be talking to us a lot about what Kleos Trading and Consultancy is about. Dr. Melaniea, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I appreciate the struggle with the name. So thank you for bearing with me.
Yeah, it's quite a unique, nice name. I mean, it's such a nice name. Let me just say that.
Thank you. It's a Greek name, and we like long names. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, Dr. Melaniea, you can talk to us about what Kleos Trading and Consultancy is about, what you're involved in Kenya, and some of the target audience for what you do in the country.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. So Cleos is a new company. Actually, the name itself is also Greek. It means great deeds, and it's an ancient Greek word. And I know that Greek culture is quite well liked here in Kenya. So it's my company. I'm the founder and director, and we have a UK-based investment for the company. I wanted to start the company up because I really love Kenya, and I've been working here for some time on and off. And the company is very much targeted at communities that want to lead, be very instrumental in leading on their own solutions to their own issues and developing their voice. And my job is to go into the communities and support people to do that. My job is also to look for funding to support our community partners. They're all CBOs, FBOs, and organizations of such like. So they are really our target audience. And what we want to do is collect data, collect information from those communities, and then send it up to people who can make change, people who can, who are community leaders, government bodies, and so on and so forth, who can support the community to make change, make change where needed.
Okay. I think one of the things that I like about what Cleos does is the use of data-driven information. I think in this day and age, you cannot run away from the use of data. So why is it important for Cleos, to use targeted data to address certain issues in the society? And also maybe you can talk about, in Kenya right now, the mood is generally an election mood. And why is it important at this particular time to talk about what Cleos is doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you. Okay, so in terms of let me address the data side first. So data is important because it evidences the work that we do, and it is a way of showing the people that we're trying to talk to what the community members have said. And often data, these reports, they're very heavy. There's a lot of numbers. How many of us enjoy reading those things? Let's be honest. So what we're doing in Cleos that I think is very innovative and interesting is we're putting the data into visual formats. So it's something that anyone can look at. Even a small child can look at the data and understand, if we talk to them about the data, what the data is saying. So we are trying to disrupt and pull down the usual ways that data is presented and make it a bit more lively and a bit more accessible. And I think that's really important for the community as well. And let's think about if we have somebody who didn't have as much literacy, who wasn't used to looking at spreadsheets, okay, now they can look at the data and they can understand it. So that's really important. So in terms of the election, yes, we are of course, we're coming up to the election. Cleos has been in the communities with a project called the Wanjiku Action Initiative. I think the name can explain itself.
Yeah.
Talking to the communities about what they would like to ask aspirants and change makers, people who have the power or who want the power to make change. What do they want to know? So they have been helping us pull together a really interesting questionnaire. Some of the questions include things like, what kind of projects would these people be doing on the ground should they be elected? What kind of issues do the people who are trying to be elected think are critical in the community? And then we've asked the community members the same questions, and then we can compare. But what we can also do is go back to the people who were elected after the elections and ask them, okay, please, could you tell us how you have delivered on some of these promises? And these things are coming from the community. They're not coming from Cleos. Cleos is a non-political organization. It does lots of different projects, but it happens to be doing a political project right now. So it's very important for me to say that. This stuff is coming from the community, and Cleos is really the mouthpiece. We're trying to help them be heard.
Okay. One of the means that you're using to deliver or to publicize what Cleos is doing in the country is sports, and you partnered with Arrow Sports Academy. Arrow is a very big friend of the show. He's been here countless and countless times. Yeah, I'm pretty sure our viewers have seen Arrow on this platform. Maybe you can talk to us about the partnership with Arrow Sports Academy. What Cleos is doing with Arrow, and what are the prospects in the near future within the sphere of sports in the country?
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, we are very lucky to be partnering with RO. As we know, RO is really leading on grassroots football in the country, and we really took an interest in that, and we thought that was a very purposeful, useful way for the community development to go. And as I've already said, Cleos's work is to look for community development partnerships and to look for funding and support to grow those partnerships. So it's really our business. So we came together to partner with RO, and we've been able to support RO in terms of things like kit, in terms of things like office spaces, and storage spaces and so on, and other benefits to the academy. We think that it's powerful because we know that sport is a very, very good way to catalyze communities, to help young people have a focus, to keep them away from things that might be detrimental to their health and their personal development as they go forward. And we also think that football is more than just sport. It's a whole discipline. It's a way of a young person becoming disciplined in the way that they approach life, and we really believe in that, and we think that's very important. We'd like to continue working with RO, and we are interested in other potential opportunities within the sports, and I would say cultural development of young people. It's something that we really personally believe in. So we are very open to ideas about how that might go forward. But we've been very lucky with RO because they've really shown us what good operations looks like on the ground when you're using sport or culture to develop young people.
Okay. Maybe so far, how do you rate the effectiveness with what Cleos is doing and what Arrow is doing? How important has it furthered the cause that Cleos is doing in the country?
I mean, I think our relationship, our professional relationship, and our allegiance with RO is fundamentally important to Cleos because, as I said, RO is really leading on, sports, football, grassroots activity in the country, I would say. We are able to learn a lot of lessons from that in terms of how best to partner with people, what we might be looking for, what they might be looking for, and how to ask the right questions. Cleos is learning, how to operate in the country with our relationships with our different community organizations. So whilst we have a lot of expertise, of course, I'm not a footballer. I don't know that the best way for that sport to be used with young people. But of course, I've been able to get very involved with RO and learn about that. So it's fundamentally important. One of the things that Cleos has done with RO is we've co-developed a 5-year strategy for the organization. So our offer, I think, is to be able to bring really to concretize and make concrete, let's say, where they want to go and how they want to go there, and to bring the tools to help them to do that. So I think that's our job. Our job is to help them to really, very concretely know how to go forward.
Okay. Maybe for somebody watching, they'll be interested to understand. For Arrow is a football outfit in the country. Are there any prospects of maybe, spreading your wings to other cadres of sports in the country?
Well, I'm really very excited about the prospect of working with other types of sports organizations. At the moment, I would say I'm in the seeking information phase. We have to do what's called R&D, research and development. So as an organization, we go out there and we look for where the opportunities might be. So if there is an organization out there who thinks that they might have an offer, who thinks they have something unique that they want to discuss with us, we are very open to that idea. I'm very open to sitting down and having meetings with people. And I'm very open to the idea of sitting down and having meetings with investors who might want to invest in particular aspects of sport through Cleos. Very open to those ideas. Please do get in touch if you are one of those people and you'd like to talk to us.
Maybe as we wrap up, Melania, there's in Kenya or generally in Africa, the electioneering period is usually looked at as the end of the world, and what you're doing currently is focused around what is happening in the country. Maybe what kind of message you like to pass out to stakeholders and people who are watching the show and are quite not sure about how to navigate this electioneering period, because in a country like Kenya, for example, elections are very decisive topic. So how important is it for us to maintain, peace even as we gun up to the general election?
That's such an important question that you're asking about the election. What we've done is we've gone out and listened to a lot of people in the community over the last 4 weeks, and we're continuing to do that. And something that's really come across very, very strongly, that the community is advising other members of the community. So as it talks to itself and talks to other communities, people are saying, please understand the manifesto of the local MCA or the local, your local leadership. Really understand and engage with that manifesto and learn what it means to you. That's the advice that's coming out of the community to Cleos, and Cleos is passing it back, really. So to really engage with that, really be critical and understand what it means to you. And your local leadership will have copies of manifestos, as we know, and you can go and ask about them. That's your democratic right. And then try to make a decision, I think, based on the facts, because those are the things that you'll be able to hold leadership accountable to post the election. And again, that's what community members are telling Cleos. That's what community members are telling us is important. And I would say we can reflect that back, really. So peaceful, calm engagement with manifestos. And I suppose remembering that once it's all over, we'll still have to live with each other. So let's bear that in mind.
Okay. Thank you for that. Maybe the last but not least, maybe for somebody who's watching the show and will be interested to probably reach out to you, how can they get in contact with you for any form of partnership with what you're doing?
That's a great question. Thank you. So I believe my contact details will be shared on this platform, and that will include my business number, my email address. We have an Instagram page and a Facebook page as well. But I think the best way to do it is just give me a call, really. Give me a call or drop me an email. I always believe in talking to people face to face where I can, and I would be very happy to try and make that happen. If you're further afield, if you're outside of Nairobi, we can always do Zoom, as we're doing here. With Zoom meetings are fine. You know, since COVID, we know that they've become quite powerful ways of talking to each other, so that's fine. Or we can get on the phone. It's completely up to you, but please do reach out. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Melaniea. It was nice having you on the show. Looking forward to having more conversations with you in relation to what Cleos is doing in the country.
Thank you so much. I hope to be able to come back and give you some interesting and exciting updates as we grow. And who knows what will come out of the show, and we'd be very happy to share that back to you when we know a bit more.